Now in Linux we have three basic permissions. Now that is what read,
Hello, Mr. Taki. I see your voice is very weak. I want you to strong.
is it not clear? I was not saying that time anything. Now I am saying. Is it clear? Okay. Okay. Now it has three basic permissions. That means read and write and execute. So read, write and execute is the three basic permissions we have in the Linux system. Read represents by R.
I don't see your screen, sir.
Okay. A. It is sharing. So this is what the three permissions we have in Linux system. This is the three basic permission: read, write and execute. Now when we say read, so it is represented by R. When we say write, so it is represented by W. And when we say execute, so it is represented by X. Now what do you mean by read and write? Now remember, in the file and the directory, both are different and not like Linux. Now in Linux, not like Windows. In Windows, what happens when you assign permission to a directory? So by default, the directory permission inherit to all the files and directory inside that directory. That is the default behavior in Windows. That is what inheritance. Now here in Linux, inheritance is not there. Now what the meaning of inheritance? Meaning like when you assign a permission to a directory, so in the directory all the files and directory will not be affected by that permission. You have to assign separate permissions for every file and directory. So it is not inherited. Now Linux permissions are not inheritance. So they are not inheritance means if we assign permission, okay, if we assign any permission on directory, so the same permission will not be inherited will not be inherited to any files or directory directories inside the parent directory. So it is not inheritance, and it will not be inherit to all the files and directories inside that directory. You have to assign permission for every files and directories separately. That means you have to assign permissions on every files and directories separately. They are not inherited. So they are not inherited, and you have to assign them separately. I will show you how it is working. When we try to assign the permission, we will see that it is not inherited. But this is the case. Okay. Now these permissions are also, we can say, in 3 bits. So in Linux we have these 3 basic permission is this, that is this read, write and execute, and also we can say it's 3 bits 3 bits basic permissions. Now if you remember, uh, bits, that means binary, we represents bit as a binary. So if you remember binary to decimal conversion, so you know, if you are having a 3 bits, that means your first bit value will be 1, second bit value will be 2, third bit value will be 4. So if you enable this bit and disable these 2 bits, then what you will get? You will get number 1. Now if you disable this bit and enable this bit and disable this bit, so you will get number 2. Now if you disable these 2 bits and enable this bit, so you will get number 4. Now how it is coming? It is coming from these bits. This is the value for the binary bits, and these are the 3 bits. Wait. Okay. Okay, let me convert this into table so we can understand better. So this is what decimal, and these are the binary numbers. So if you enable one bit, so it will do what? It will count, you will count that number here. That means when you enable a bit, you will count that number, and that number will be 1. And if you enable this bit, the number will be 2. If you enable this bit, the number will be 4. Now when you have these numbers, then you have permissions here. So when you are having this number 1, that means you are enabling this bit, first bit, so you will get read permission. Oops. You will get execute permission. Now if you are having 2, that means you are enabling this bit and rest of the bits are disabled, then you will get the permission write. Then when you are enabling this bit, and that means you are having number 4 decimal, that means you are getting what? Write. Now this is not capital R, so let me make it a small r, please. Small r, a small w, this is a small x, and that is what the permissions you are having. So you can also say read permission means decimal number 4. Now why decimal number 4? Because in binary this bit is enabled, and if this bit is enabled and the other 2 bits are disabled, then you can say it is what? Number 4. And also you can say this is the read permission. Now if you are having number 2, that means this bit is enabled, and that means what? You are having write permission. If you are enabling, you are having number 1, that means you are enabling first bit and your number is what? 1, and that means you are getting execute permission. So if you want to say the permission in symbolic way, then you can say RWX, and if you want to say it in numerical way, then you can see 4 to 1 or 1 to 4. 1 means execute, 2 means write, and 4 means read. Now why we are saying 1, 2 and 4? Because they are in 3 bits, and each bit represent the permission value. So each bit represents the value of permission. Now what that means? First, then we have a read permission. First we should understand that what happens if you are having a read permission. Now on file, on file, if you have read permission, then what you can do, then you can read the content of file. So you can read the content of file, but you cannot edit. You can only read the content of file. Now if you got read permission on directory, now if you got the read permission on directory, then what you can do, so on directory if you have read permission, then what you can do, you can list the directory. You can list the directory, list the directory content. That means you can see what is inside the directory. You can see what is the content of the directory. You can see what is inside the directory. So if you are getting the read permission on file, that means you can see the content, you can read the content of the file, what is written inside the file, but you cannot edit. And if you got the read permission on directory, that means you can read the content of the file directory. That means you can list the directory. You can use ls command, you can check the directory, what is inside the directory. But remember, I said only list. That means you can only list the directory. You can use ls command, but you cannot go inside the directory. Remember, you can't go inside the directory. You can only see what is inside the directory, and that we can do without going inside the directory. That means we don't have to go inside the directory to see the content of that directory. That means if you see here, we are working on command line. Now right now I am on this directory root. If I want to see what is inside the boot directory, so I can directly check from here. Remember, I am not inside the boot directory. I can check it directly from anywhere. So I don't have to go inside the directory to check. In graphical, what you can do, you cannot do that. In graphical, now I want to see what is inside the boot directory, then I have to go inside the boot directory. That means I have to go to the places, computer, and where is the boot directory? This is the boot directory. So where is the boot directory? Where is it? It's here. So you have to double click it. Now that means what? You are going inside the directory, you are listing the directory, and also you are doing what? You are checking the content of the directory. And for doing both, you have to go inside the directory when you are using the graphical command. But in command line, we don't have to go inside the directory. I can see without going inside the directory. I can do it by using this ls command. I can do by using the ls command. Or if I want to go inside the command, then I will use the boot command, cd command, and then I will go inside the directory. So for listing the directory, we don't have to go inside the directory. We need only this read permission. Now when you are having a write permission, so on file if you have write permission, that means very simple. What you can do, you can edit the content, you can write the content, you can edit the content of the file. Very simple, you can edit the content of the file. Now same way, if you are getting the write permission on directory, so on directory, if you have write permission, you can do what? Now for directory, it's not a file. So on directory, if you are having a write permission, that means what you can do, you can again edit the content of the directory. That means you can add new files or directory. You can add new files or directory in that directory, and you can delete also. You can delete files or directory from that directory. So that means if you are getting the write permission on the directory, that means you can write the content of the directory. That means you can create new files in the directory, and also you can delete existing files from the directory and existing files and directories from that directory. Now the last permission you have is execute permission. Now if you get the execute permission on file, if you have this execute permission, then very simple, you can execute the file. You can execute the file. You can execute the file. Now what the meaning of executing the file? That means if your file is executable. Now which files are executable? In Linux we are having executable files like binary files, that is like all the commands are executable binaries. Or if you create any script file, so you cannot execute unless you have this execute permission. So you are having execute permission on the file, that means you can execute the file. Executing, that means it is just like running the file. You know, in Windows we have application files, .exe files, which we double click and execute it. We have script files in Windows, that is what batch files in old days. Nowadays we are having PowerShell executables, which we can use to execute the script. So those files are called executable files which we run. So if we want to run any file, so I need what? Execute permission. Otherwise I cannot execute that file. So if I have an execute permission, then I can do what? I can execute the file. For example, binary or script files. So which files we can execute? We can execute binaries or execute script files. Now on directory. Now on directory, if you have this execute permission, now what you can do? Now this is not a file, this is not a script, this is not a binary file, it's a directory. Now when you get the execute permission on the directory, then what you can do? You can actually execute the directory. You can execute the directory. Now what is the meaning of executing the directory? What is the meaning of this executing the directory? Actually, it means you can go inside the directory. Remember, I said when you get the read permission on directory, you can only read the content, you can only list the directory, but you cannot go inside the directory. For going inside the directory, for using the cd command, you must have execute permission on the directory. So if you don't have execute permission on the directory, you cannot go inside the directory. You cannot have the cd command. And if you want to list the content of the directory, you don't need to go inside the directory. You need only what? Read permission to list the directory. And you see, we have done it without going inside the directory. We can run ls command. So we can run ls command without going inside the directory, and we can run the ls command. Without going inside the directory, we can run ls command to see the content of the directory. But if we want to go inside the directory, then what we need? We need execute permissions. Without execute permission, we cannot run cd command. So this is the format of our permissions. The permissions we have is what read, write, execute, and these read, write, executes works like this, and they work separately on each directory and file. So if you assign permission on a directory, it will be, it works like differently, and if you assign permission on a file, then it works separate differently and separately. Hmm. So this is what the basic permissions. Now we check the file. We check what is how is it is looking in the.
So
Yes.
I'm still confused.
Now when you run this ls-l, I told you that these are the permissions. These are the permission of file or directory. So these are the permissions of files and directory. Now we have not assigned any permission. We have not assigned any permission to the file or directory, but still they are getting some permission. Still they are getting these permissions. Now what these permissions are in, and where they are getting these permissions? It is called default permissions. Now these default permissions are coming from Unix system actually. So if you see default permissions, default permissions. Now these default permissions are defined from Unix systems because these all systems are inherited from there. Now these systems are the permissions from the basic system. Basic Linux kernel was like I can say from the basic Linux kernel, all the files, all the files were got were getting this permission, were getting the permission is this. Now I am using numerical, huh? That is 6. Okay, first let me clear the structure of the permission. Let me clear the structure of permissions first. So this is a permission for a file. I will copy this in this file so that you can understand. This is the normal permission of file. Now when you see the permission, so this is the permission here. Okay, let me increase it so that you can understand. Now I will remove some these extra things because these are not related to permissions. The things which is related to permissions, it is only these things. Now these things are related to permissions. Now the first thing here, first thing is this symbol. Now this symbol indicates type of files. Now type of files means what kind of file it is. If you see this, that means it's a normal file. We have talked about this before also, that this means what? A normal file. And if you are having a directory, then you will see D here. So in this first place, it indicates the type of file. So you don't have to see this for permission. You have to ignore this one. Now after this one, after this place, now this rest of the thing is permission. Now when you see this rest of the things as a permission, then you have to divide these as a set of 3 permissions. Remember, we have 3 set of permissions, that is read, write and execute. But when you see in the system, you will see all these things together. They are not separated. But in your mind, you have to separate them. That means in your mind, you have to separate them by using this 3 set of different permissions. Now, if you see 3 sets, that means 1, 2 and 3. And then you have to separate it. Then you see 1, 2, 3. And then you have to separate it. So you have to separate this. Otherwise you will get confused. So they are separated in these 3 set of permissions. Now the first 3 set, now 3 sets means what? It is actually read, write and execute. Now because this minus means what? The minus means what? The execute is not there. That means it is only contained read and write, no execute. But it can be execute. That means if you have execute permission, then you will see here. So you are having read, write and no execute permission. Now in the other side you can see it is read and no write, no execute. Again you are seeing here read, no write and no execute permission. And also you are having this dot. Now this dot is also indication of a permission, advanced permission actually. So whenever you see the permission, it is not divided in the set of 3, but you have to divide it in your mind. If you check the system, you can see this here, that they are not divided. They are looking like they are in a single permission. But whenever you see the permission, you have to divide it in your mind in a set of 3 permissions. First one is a type, like you can see this is file and this is what directory, D for directory, and this minus means it's a file, so you have to ignore that one. Now here is the permission and you can see they are no separated, but you have to separate them because they related to total separate permissions. There are three separate permissions there. That means there are three set of permissions for three different persons. Now what those persons are? So the first set of permission, this first set of permission is for wait, I will do what? I will create a table so that we can easily divide them.
ये रही अम्मी।
I'm dividing them so that we can have a, I'm creating a table so that we can separately divide them easily. Now we can say easily the difference. Okay, so first one is a type of file. It indicates the type of file. That means whether it is a normal file or a command file or a directory or any link file, that means shortcut file or something. Now this first set of permission, whatever permission it is there, whether it is read only, read write execute, or read write or whatever, this permission indicates, or I will give full, like see, it will be like this: read write execute, read write execute, and read write execute. So you have to divide them in a set of three permissions. Now the first set of permission is for owner user. Owner user, that means who own the file, who create the file. So this first set of permission belongs to the owner user. That means the one who created the file, the one who owns the file, the one who created the file, the one who owns the file. Then the second set of permission is for the owner group. This is for the owner group. That means this permission belongs to the owner group. Now owner group means what? Owner group means any group. It can be any group, but by default the group will be the primary group for the user. That means when we create a file, suppose user 1 create the file, so the owner user will be user 1 and the group owner will be the primary group for that user. That is what the default behavior. But by default, that means I can change it. I can change it to any other group also. But this permission only belongs to the owner group. That means first permission, first set of permission, whatever permission you see here, it will be given to the user who created the file. Then the second set of permission, whatever permission you will see here, read, write, execute, whatever, this set of permission will be given to the owner group. Now owner group, that means it will not group will use the permission. All the users which is the member of that group will use the permission. Now the owner user get the permission and the group owner will get the permission. That means all the users which is member of this group will get this permission. Now all the rest of the users, that means whatever the users remaining now whatever the users are remaining, they will get the all users will get this third set of permission. That means this is for all others. That means this permission will be given to all the other users. So whatever the user you have, all the users will get this third set of permission. So owner user will get this set of permission. Owner group, that means the member of that groups will get this set of permission, and rest of the user, all the remaining users will get this set of permission. Then this dot, it also indicates something, and that is what it indicates: advanced permissions. This dot actually indicates the advanced permission. Now we will see what is advanced permission. That means when we use the advanced permissions, then this dot indicates that whether the file or directory contain any advanced permission or not. As you can see, that dot means no advanced permission, but if it is having an advanced permission, then you will see a plus symbol there. Now whenever you see any file or directory, you will see the name of the user here. You can see here all the files and directory, you see the name of the user here, and this is the owner user. So whatever name you see here with the file, that is the actual owner of the file. By default, who creates the file? We can also change it. So this is the owner of the file, and that means what? The whoever name you see here, this user will get this set of permission. So you don't have to find out. That means you don't have to find anywhere else that who is the owner and who is getting this owner permission. You can see the name directly here. And this means what? The owner user and who is getting this permission. Now the next name which you see here, it is not a group name, it is not a user name, it is actually owner group. So this is the name of the owner group. That means whoever name you will see, whatever the group name you will see, it is going to get this permission. So whatever the name you see here, it's a group name and the user, and this set of permission will be given to this group members. So actually this is owner user permission, this is group owner user permission. Let me reduce a little so we can see easily. So this set of permission belongs to owner user. This is owner user's permission. This is owner group's permission, and this is the permission which gets other users. And this will be this indicates the advanced permission. This is the owner user who is getting this permission, and this is the owner group name who is getting this permission. Then here you will see any file or directory. So whether the file or directory, you will see the name here, whether it is a file or directory. So this is the structure of the permission you see. Now you will see it in your system and you have to indicate, you have to verify. That means you see in the file in a system, you will not see separate things. All the things like type of the file, then all the permissions are together. They are not separated. So you have to separate them in your mind. And you have to separate them in your mind in set of 3 permissions. 3 read write execute, read write execute, read write execute. Now here they are not getting read write execute all the permission. User owner is getting only read write, no execute. Group owner is getting only read, no execute, no write, and these others are also getting only read and no write, no execute, and no advanced permission. But always you will see the owner username and group owner name. So whoever create the files, for example, if you check the other users directory, so under home, this is the other user, and if you check the permission, you can see it is created by who? That user, owned by the user, and the group owner is also that user. So this is the structure of default permissions. Now what the default permissions? Now if you see, we have not assigned any permission. These permissions are coming by default. So where they are coming from? So from the basic Linux kernel, all the files were getting the permission of 6, 6 and 6. Now what that means? 666. So you will remember this numerical value. Now 4 means read and 2 means write. Now when you combine them, so you will get 6, and 6 means what? Read plus write. That means when I say 6, that means what we are getting? Read write, no execute, read write, no execute, and read write, no execute. Now why I type 3 times? Because remember, you have to divide it into set of 3 permissions. These are the 3 set of permissions. Now 3 set of permission, that means read write for the owner user, read write for group owner, and for others also read write. This is for files. Or I will say here all the files and directories. So this is for files. For files and for directories. All the directories were getting 7, 7, 7. Now what that means? 7, 7 means what? If you guess the numbers, so 1, 2 and 4, if you combine all those 3 permissions, you will get 7. So 7 means what? You are getting read write execute, read write execute, and read write execute. So these all permissions you are getting. So this is the default. Basic permissions are coming from the Linux. basic Linux kernel. Basic Linux kernel which is taken from the Unix system. Now there is a problem for this default setting, default permissions. The problem is like owner user is getting read write, that means it is okay, who create the file he can write the file also. The owner group also getting the read write permission, that is also okay, but others are also getting the read write permission. That means it is a problem. That means I create the file and everyone can write that file. That is not okay. And same as for the directory, I am creating the directory, I am the owner and I am getting the write permission, that is okay, but others are also getting the write permission. That is not okay. So this is the default permissions we are getting from the basic Unix kernel. So with this we have a problem. We have a problem of all users, that is owners and others also. Others also getting write permission on files and directory. So this is what the permission we have. So everyone is getting write permission. Now that is not good. Now for this problem, or to solve, for solving this, problem, Linux comes up with umask. Now umask is what? Umask and this umask
Mr. Taki,
yes,
I'm requesting for the upper part for just I'm done, Mr. Taki.
okay. Now they comes up with this umask. Now this is what umask. Now which is which is 00022 for root user and 002 for normal users. This is fixed. That means 022 is for root user, and for other user it is fixed as 022. And user can check umask by using command, and that is umask. So you can check the umask by using this command. So if you want to check the umask, then you will check it by this command. That means I want to see the umask for the root user. I am logged in as a root user, so I will run umask command and I can see the umask is what? 022. Now if I switch to the other user, For example, user 1, and if I check the umask for this user 1, I can see it is what, 002. Now what this umask do, this umask, now this umask will be deducted from the default permission. So actually this umask will be deducted from the default permission. That means for files, what was the permission? It was 6, 6, 6. That is read write, no execute, read write, no execute, read write, no execute. Now it is deducting the umasks for root, like I will say, like for root user. That means when the files created by root user, so the umask will be deducted is what, 0, 2, 2, and then you will get what, you will get, 6, 4, 4, and that means what, read write for owner user. Now 4 means what, read, that means read only for other user, owner group, and read only for other users. Now owner users will get the write permission, but other users will get only read permission. They can only read, but they cannot write the file for the user. Now for root users directory, what they will get, by default it is 7, 7, 7. That means what, read write execute, read write execute, read write execute. Now when you reduce the mask 0, 2, 2, so you will get what, you will get 7, 5, 5. That means read write execute for owner user, read execute for group, and read execute for others. And if you check in the system, if I see here, so any file which is created by the root user, you can see the permission, read write, read, and read. That means 6, 4, 4. So whenever the user root create any file, it gets 6, 4, 4. And if it is created a directory, if it creates, what it get, read write execute, read execute, read execute, and that is what, 7, 5, and 5. And same as for the normal users. So for normal users, files, what they get, 6, 6, 6, that is what? Read write, read write, read write. But when you divide 0, 0, 2, what you will get is what? 6, 6, 4. That means read write, and read for files, and for normal users directory 777, and that is what? Read write execute, read write execute, read write execute. But after deducting the umask, what you will get? 775, and that means what? Read write execute for the owner user, read write execute for the group owner, but others will get only read execute, and that is for the normal user. And if you check in the system, you can see, I will switch to the user. Now you see there are directories which is owned by the user, and you can see what is the permission, what permission it is getting. Now this is created by root, so I will create a file here, touch file1 and mkdir directory 1. Now when you check, this file1 is getting what permission? Read write, read write, read. That means 664. And the directory which I created here, what permission it is getting? 7. That means read write execute, read write execute, and read execute. That means 775. So that is what the default permissions you are getting from Linux system. And these are the default permissions we have. Now we will stop here